EUC dying where? Let's go! Look, I am standing right here in the garage looking at a machine that weighs 100 pounds. Some people on the internet look at this heavy piece of machinery and they start crying because they think the hobby is flatlining. They see fewer videos or they hear about a company slowing down production and they panic like they just saw a ghost in broad daylight. You click this video because you want to know if your favorite obsession is heading for the graveyard. I am going to show you why this movement is actually stronger than ever and why walking away is the last thing any of us are doing. Every single time I walk out the front door to ride, my neighbors look at me like I escaped from a high security facility. They shake their heads because they cannot comprehend why anyone would willingly balance on a single wheel and rock it down the asphalt. Then you open up the comment sections online and people act like the sky is falling. You see keyboard warriors typing paragraphs about how the market is shrinking and nobody's buying new machines anymore. They complain that parts take too long to ship across the ocean or that prices have gotten completely ridiculous. The truth is that every emerging sport goes through growing pains where the casual tourists pack up and leave. When things get expensive or complicated, the people who only wanted a quick thrill get out of the way. The actual solution hiding in plain sight is that the core community has never been more dedicated. We are the ones wrenching on our own suspensions, upgrading our own battery packs, and riding thousands of miles through freezing rain and scorching heat. Another huge complaint floating around Reddit is that these machines have simply become too dangerous for normal human beings. People post pictures of hospital bills and road rash like they are collecting trading cards warning everyone to stay away. My wife stands at the kitchen window every single time I put on my full body armor, watching me strap in like I am heading into a combat zone. She gives me that look that tells me she is drafting my obituary in her head while I check my tire pressure. The fear is completely real and nobody is pretending that falling off a heavy machine at 30 miles per hour feels good. If you ride carelessly, the pavement will introduce itself to your face in a very aggressive manner. The fix for that terror is learning proper control and treating the machine with the absolute respect it demands. When you master your braking distance, wear your protective gear, and stop riding like you are invincible, the danger turns into calculated freedom. Then you have the constant internet crying about battery range anxiety and chargers overheating in the middle of a group ride. Someone gets stranded 5 miles away from home because their voltage sagged and they throw a massive temper tantrum online. I was out on a long group ride last month and watched a guy's machine completely die in the middle of an industrial park with zero shade. He looked like a stranded astronaut on Mars with a dead rover sweating through his jacket and regretting every life choice. The frustration of being stranded miles from your driveway makes you want to pick the machine up and throw it into a dumpster. Dealing with dead cells and heavy electronics can test the patience of a saint when you just want to cruise. The real remedy is carrying a proper roadside repair kit, checking your cell balance regularly, and knowing the exact limits of your battery pack. Once you start treating maintenance like a routine ritual instead of an annoying chore, those breakdowns stop happening altogether. People on social media love to complain that the police are cracking down on every single rider in major metropolitan cities. They act like law enforcement is setting up tactical checkpoints specifically designed to confiscate every single wheel on the planet. I had an officer pull up beside me at a red light last week while I was wearing a helmet that made me look like an extra from a sci-fi movie. He rolled down his window and stared at the tires spinning between my legs like I had 3 heads attached to my shoulders. The panic of seeing flashing red and blue lights behind you makes your stomach drop straight down into your sneakers. You start calculating how much money the ticket is going to cost and whether you need to run for the nearest alleyway. The practical workaround is obeying traffic laws, using your turn signals, and refusing to give cops any excuse to ruin your afternoon. When you act like a legitimate vehicle on the road instead of a reckless menace, most officers just nod and keep driving. Another favorite topic on the forums is how companies never listen to customer feedback when designing newer models. They drop thousands of dollars on a machine only to find out the pedals are too low or the shell cracks too easily. I spent an entire afternoon trying to swap out a broken motherboard on a wheel that required 20 different tiny screws and zero patience. My hands were covered in grease and I was talking to myself in the garage like a certified mad scientist. The irritation of fighting with poorly engineered plastic housing makes you want to pack up your tools and take up knitting instead. Nobody wants to spend their weekend wrestling with wiring harnesses when they could actually be outside enjoying the sunshine. The brilliant fix is joining local maker communities where riders share custom 3D printed parts and step-by-step repair guides for every model. When builders and creators collaborate to fix factory mistakes, the entire ecosystem becomes completely bulletproof. Beyond all the mechanical headaches and online panic, there is a deeper reason why this crazy community refuses to die out. When you are gliding down an empty road at night with the wind hitting your chest, all the noise in your brain just shuts off. It is the closest thing to pure flying that a human being can experience without jumping out of an airplane with a parachute. You are completely locked into the present moment because if you lose focus for even a second, gravity will humble you instantly. That intense emotional connection is what keeps people coming back year after year, no matter what the forum trolls say. We ride because it gives us a sense of freedom that cars and bicycles and motorcycles can never quite capture. So do not listen to the noise coming from people sitting on their couches complaining about a hobby they barely understand. The machines are getting faster, the riders are getting smarter, and this entire movement is here to stay for the long haul. Thanks for watching.